We do you right.
Shannon, thank you for having me.
You remember we were just talking about, you was like, man, I ain't been in the business that long. I said, well, okay, I gave you a couple extra years, but you're like, started playing in the back of your head. You're right.
No,
you're right.
And then as I'm listening to your introduction, I'm like, man, it has been a long traveled road.
Oh, hell no.
Man, let's look here. You do what you did. That number's a little, that's Shea by Laportier.
Okay.
You want to do the water?
Well, no, because I'm drinking water, but I'll toast with you.
Where?
There we go. My man.
Bro, you shook up the internet when you I don't know if you accidentally or intentionally, you was trying to show, look, I'm doing this thing my way, and you accidentally leaked that you make X amount of $100,000, $100,000, $1 million a month. What were you hoping to do in the process of doing that? Did you want to show like, look, you can do it on your own? Or what was the purpose of you doing what you did on IG?
Well, the message is always that you can do it on your own, for as many people that want to hear that. In that moment, I was just tracking the growth.
Yes.
I was sitting there just like I said, it's been a road long traveled.
Right.
So I think it was the impressions is what I was trying to highlight. It was some around.
You forgot to block the other part out, huh?
No, you know what? We blocked it, but we old dinosaurs. So they unblocked it.
Damn.
They unblocked it, and I got a lot of phone calls, but God is in charge. So ultimately, a lot of good came from it. And again, we sharing information. It's not meant to be gatekept.
Let me ask you this. What made you decide to go to Patreon? Because there are a lot. I mean, you're on YouTube audio. You got Apple. You got your platform is vast, and so you got a lot of different people can consume the Joe Budden podcast on a lot of different platforms. Why was it so important for you to go that route?
At the time, that was we had a high belief in ourselves. And what we had accomplished at Spotify previously.
Okay.
And we had a lot of data that told a story. So at the end of the term, you can listen to all the offers in the field, which we did. We listened to everybody. But ultimately, where would I be the happiest? One, where could I be paid? Where could I celebrate in the growth of my own show without having to ask anybody? I mean, that's always just the most important.
Did you feel like if you had taken one of these deals, they were going to, then they feel like they can, what Joe Budden can talk about, how Joe Budden can move the show, the growth of the show, because you move as you want to, because you are the sole proprietor, you're the sole owner of the show. So if you want to add somebody under your umbrella, I can do that without having to ask for permission.
Well, you know what, anybody we partnered with, they never really tampered with the creative.
Yes.
In that, right? But when you're just learning, right? And at every turn, what I was learning about how podcasters would be paid and how advertising worked, and CPMs and all of this other shit. I never jived.
Know about them CPMs and them RPMs, boy. When I found out about them CPMs and RPMs, things changed for me. You hear me? Things changed for me in the way that I'm approaching YouTube. You understand me? That's probably outside of watch hours, CPMs, RPMs. It's the way to go. It's the way to pay attention. It's the way It's the way to angle your channel so that way you can get or extract a lot of money out of YouTube.
With any of it.
Right.
I never jived with any of that. And I was able to, because my show was so large, kind of have my own say in things. So at Complex, it was Complex negotiating the advertisement deals with their sales teams, and whatever the tiny bump was in my contract is as much as I'd be able to participate, even though the ad was contingent upon my participation.
Correct.
Big problem for me.
Yeah.
Big problem for me.
Because you doing all the work. You doing all the ad reads. People want to hear Joe Budden. They want to hear your voice. It's not the same as them just implanting it in there. They want to hear Joe read that.
And that's the part that often gets twisted up when I say that. This is only applicable if your replacement list is short because they can always replace you.
Correct.
They can always replace you.
Yes.
But I mean, it's my job to make it damn hard for them to do that.
Right.
At Spotify, it was more the same with the advertisements for us. We were getting bunched in with whatever thousands of shows.
Right.
Well, we were one of the first, one of two. And then we got bunched in with all of these thousands of shows that y'all shopped and came back and spread out that doesn't jive. I don't jive. Right. I don't jive with that.
You're the most popular.
I don't jive with that.
You're the most popular. You're the biggest. But you want us, these other mini shows, yeah, you give us a tiny bump, but it's like, this is not market. I want to be market. I want to be a free agent because free agency is I can get what the market bears and not just bunched in because I'm under this umbrella.
Well, and now you're taking it to the next point, which is you go kick ass at whatever the place is, you name it. And then at the end of the term,
good question, Bull City. So CPM is cost per mil. So that basically means how many impressions you get per 1,000 views, right? And RPMs means pretty much revenue per mil. So basically how much you're actually making per 1,000 views. So that's the difference between the two. So CPM is think of impressions. Impressions you get per 1,000 views. RPM is the money that you actually make from the 1,000 per 1,000 views.
You have to negotiate the value of it.
Yes.
And a lot of times y'all are in charge of dictating what that looks like on your consumer face. I don't jive with that. I don't jive with that. I never jive with that. So Patreon for us was the best because we were able to get equity. We were able to participate in the growth of this partnership. Right. And it was able to just put it in the hands of me and my family.
Another important thing too is sponsors, brands. They're really good. I'm actually in motion talking to some people right now, emailing a few, you know what I'm saying, just getting the name out there, because, we're still a smaller channel. Well, I ain't gonna even put in quotation. We are a smaller channel, still growing. But here's the thing. There are a lot of companies that are looking to work with smaller creators, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of brands aren't looking for you to, get my affiliate link or, use the promo code. A lot of them, they want to work with you because they align with the brand and where you're going. So they're willing to invest in you now because they see a long-term partnership. So those are things that you can also look into as well. So you don't need to be at 10K subscribers, 50K, 100K subscribers. Hell, you can be at 1,000. Hell, probably even 500. But of course, you gotta have some receipts in order for them to see like, okay, so this is his audience. This is his demographic of people. This is how many views this person gets within the last 28 days, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't need to wait to become a super famous YouTuber or wait for a video to go extremely viral. You don't need all of that. So just food for thought.
Yes, which has always been the case from day one.
Right.
I always want to do that.
Were you one of the first to be on Patreon?
No, not on Patreon.
Shout out to the Patreon.
On Patreon, I wasn't one of the first. Patreon has been around for a while. Before I signed my Spotify deal, Patreon was around.
Okay. But you didn't really know anything about it because the podcast space, I've only been in it for like 5 years, Joe. And so I remember CJ, who's my producer, he was at Fox because I got into this because Fox wrote it into my deal. And so even though I had it in my deal, we weren't doing anything. COVID happened.
I hit 2K. What we in February? Bro, I hit 2K early January sometime. Something like that. Mid-January, I think. Mid-January.
They was like, well, we would like to, because we got it in your deal, we'd like for you to do a podcast. So I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? There's like, and CJ was like, well, call the most famous people in your phone and ask if they would really be willing to come on the show. Now, at that time, there was no in-person, so we had to do everything virtually. Hell, I had Floyd Mayweather, had Snoop Dogg, had Ice Cube, had Rick Ross, had this one and that one. And so that's how I started. But I was like, this ain't nothing. He said, no, there's money in it. I said, well, they ain't tell me nothing about no money. They just say I need to do this because it was written in my contract.
And they wouldn't.
And so, but I did go back. I said, look, if I ain't say CJ because CJ was an employee of Fox, so I didn't want to get him in trouble. I said, but I think there's money in this. The only person I knew that was getting money in podcasting was Joe Rogan at the time because he was so big.
Yeah.
But I was like, Joe Rogan. So what's the money? And then once you start doing it and you start doing a lot of things on your own and you start see like, hold on, there's the YouTube and then you get the programmatic for the ads that they place, that you can place ads yourself.
Yes.
You can. I like, there really is money in this.
It's a whole other world.
Hence, matter of fact, that's key for me to play this video right now. What's good, y'all? So after doing a little research, I found out that 90% of the people that do watch my content, they aren't subscribers. Look, do me a huge favor, and it doesn't cost you anything. Go and hit the subscribe button right now, because then it tells me that you are gaining value from this content, as well as I look at it as an investment into the platform that allows me to continue to keep getting better and better with my content. So if you've gained any value here, go and hit the subscribe button right now.
Listen, your savings account is robbing you blind. But don't worry, I found out a way how to make my money work for me in my sleep, and I can help you do the exact same thing. Now, this isn't no get rich quick scheme. This isn't no pyramid scheme. This isn't something just trust me situation. This is legit, and this is something that your every average day person can implement in their lives, and they can really get to a bag. This isn't a short-term play. It's a long-term play. There's a promo going on right now, so you definitely want to jump on it before the price goes up, because this is too valuable. The link is in the description, and hey, let's get our money up. Let's get back to the video.
That's what they're talking about right there. You can implement your own ads too, literally own ads. So sometimes if I just don't want to say, in the middle of the video, hey, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, go and subscribe, right? Boom. My own personal ad. Then on the second one, that's the link to, that's me doing a promo for my Earn While You Save book, which is also in my Patreon. So make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned in the comments. All right. So that's one of the things that they're talking about as well. And it can do you a big thing, especially if you're trying to sell something or if you want to host a webinar. Many people do this too. Many people. If you go look at guys like Omar El Takrari, Diary of a CEO, he does this. Who else? There's a few other people that actually put their own stuff. Cody Sanchez, she does it. When she talks about what events are coming up, they do it. Myron Golden does it. So these type of people, they put it actually within their content. So therefore, they don't only they can sell their own products, but as well as you got automatic ads that play in your videos as well. So
it's a whole other world out here.
But as you said, that was not something they were going to tell me.
Yup. AD does it too. So yeah, AM does it. Yup, facts.
Oh no, hell no, they wouldn't tell you that. No way.
But you said they gave you an equity stake in Patreon. So is that what you look for when you look to do any partnership? Are you looking for an equity stake, or are you just looking to take the money up front?
I'm never looking to just take the money up front.
Yep, okay. Angry Man does it. Yep,
we would have advanced conversations in the background.
Right.
I'm not saying that no deal can get done without me having equity.
Shout out to Angry Man.
I asked for it today.
Right.
Because the pod.
Angry Man need to pull up over here and say what up. You know what I'm saying? AD do too. Last time AD showed up over here, I think I was at like, what was I? I think I was at like 500 subs. But shout out to AD though, bro.
And the podcast community is its own economy, and I've seen the effect of what a partnership does. We were at Spotify before they went public. We understood what they were trying to do at the time to funnel money away from the music business, and podcasting played a really pivotal role. That's why I never want to undersell it, because it is low budget, or the word podcast
somehow it's developed a negative connotation, Joe. Why is that?
And you know what? And I listen, when I started, it was a negative connotation.
Yes.
They kicked my ass for it, but it does today. It's stigmatized. They do tend to hear that word and kind of just compartmentalize it, put it in its own space.
Because a lot of
that's why I don't call this a podcast. That's why I don't call this a podcast. I call this a media platform. I call this a production company. This is a production company. This is a media company. This is not a podcast. It's a Cornega show. So I don't look at it as a podcast. It's a media program, media platform, production platform.
The big, like A-list celebs, they look at podcasts like that ain't no real TV show. But if you look at Netflix is starting to get involved in podcasting. You saw Amazon get involved in podcasting. You see these big conglomerates.
Listen,
if it wasn't what is growing, they ain't wasting no time with.
Yeah, because y'all saw Netflix. They just did a deal with the Breakfast Club. So they know that there's money there because it comes with an audience. It comes with an audience. You tapping into a different audience. Yes. So it's like, okay, so we tapping into their audience. Let's bring their people over here to our platform, to the people, the listeners and watchers. Let's bring them over here to our streaming platform and all of their audiences. We're bringing them over here. Smart move by Netflix. Real talk. Hell, think about it. Even Pop the Balloon did that shit. But then I haven't seen them do the show. But I think they did like a season or something like that. But it was kind of corny. I only seen clips of it. I didn't see the whole thing. But it looked kind of corny. And from my point of view, I was like, why would you do that though? When you at that big of a platform, when you got that big of a platform and it's yours and y'all created that shit, why would you go and do that? Because here's the thing. When they did that, when they went over to Netflix, then they had a whole bunch of shit going on when people were doing reaction videos. And if you wanted to do a reaction video to Pop the Balloon, you had to sign up to some shit. It's like, bro, for real? Like, do y'all not know whether it's negative or positive, you're getting more visibility. And that money is going to y'all. You don't have to share that money with Netflix. Or you don't have to share your audience with Netflix. That's your people. Why you gave that up? Because I'm pretty sure you making a bag without Netflix. The views that you gonna get on a regular day basis, brands and sponsorships that you gonna get that people want to tap into because they was already doing Fashion Over. And I'm pretty sure there was more companies willing to invest in it. Like, come on, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't the same as the internet show. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? It wasn't the same. I said this shit look kind of corny. It looked kind of scripted. It looks too scripted. It looks too corny. Looks MTV-ish. I ain't like that.
Long before Netflix, some of the shows that would pop up on these streaming apps, television shows, would be modeled or based around a podcast.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times on Hulu it would say inspired by this podcast or would start with a podcaster. So it was broad, and television shows would even make mention of things that they would hear on the podcast. Right. But you're right. How it's looked at and what people get when they hear that word, it's still, because nobody really knows how anybody's getting paid from it.
Right.
I think that has a large part to do with it too. All you ever hear, today you hear all of these numbers. So people know that there's a way to get paid.
Correct.
But they can't figure out how.
They don't really know how to get started. And then a lot of people just think, well, Joe Budden making 20 million. I should make at least 15. They don't understand. You didn't start out making 20 million. There is a gradual process, but everybody wants to skip the process. Not Joe. Everybody just wants to go straight to being the CEO. Don't nobody want to clean. Don't nobody want to work the desk job. Nobody wants to work the mail room. And it's like, man, all you do.
And that's where I'm at right now. So this is why, and this is something, and all you podcasters, listen to me right now. You can't compare yourself to guys like Shannon Sharpe, to the Joe Buddens, to the Joe Rogans, and all of these celebrities who already had a brand, who already had a following of people, in their prospective sports or whatever they were doing beforehand that then jumped into podcasting. You can't compare yourself because they were already well known. They were already well known. You're coming into this shit fresh, from scratch, from zero. Don't nobody know you from a can of paint. So you have to build that authority. You have to build that brand up and who you are. You have to constantly keep being in people's faces. Eventually, they're going to see you, bro. Eventually, they're going to see you. You just got to keep working. At this time, if you're anywhere between shit, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're under 500K, you need to be working. That goes for me too. Under 500K, you got to be working. You got to be grinding. This ain't time to quit your job. Nope, don't quit your job. Don't quit your day job. Find time where you can be consistent on putting out the content. Be consistent. Be consistent. Consistency doesn't mean, well, I need to post 3 to 4 times a day, or I need to post 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day, or I need to make sure I post this, or I need to go live every single day. If you got the capacity to do that, do it. However, if you can only put out a post once every week, stick to that one post every single week. Every single week. Do not fucking miss. I know guys right now, I know podcasters right now, I know content creators right now that post 1 day a week. They post 1 time a week. They do a video or they do interviews. They do that shit 1 time a week. And they post once a week. And they get crazy views off of that one post every week. So no, you don't have to show up every single day. You don't. You just have to make the quality content and you have to be consistent on those days. Consistent, and your shit gets, and your content gets better over time. I'll give you an example. One of the things I like to do, I like to always go back and look at somebody who's really successful right now in podcasting, right? Or YouTube creation. I always like to go back to their first video. I always do it. I always go back. I'm like, okay, this person that's at 500,000, or this person that's at 10K, or this person that's at a million subscribers. I always like to go back to that first ever video that was ever created, and the difference between their first video to their 100th video to their 1 million subscribers. It's like night and fucking day. It's like, bro, that shit was trash. The quality of the video was garbage. The audio was crazy. But you got to start somewhere. Then even if you're looking at people that's at 200K subscribers, some of them still got some trash content. It's like, dog, what is this shit? Why your video sound like that? Why the quality of your video look so dingy? Or why does your audio sound so like you talking on a speakerphone or some shit? But yet, people rock with them. And so that goes to let you know you don't need to have the most updated videos or cameras or the dopest microphone. You don't. You really don't. You just got to make sure that the content is good. People understand who you are and what you're talking about. They understand what you're about. And then, of course, you just got to continue to keep showing up and then creating that community of people that rock with you. Simple as that.
It's work. And so when they come, I'm sure you've heard it. They come to you, man, got this idea, want a podcast. I say, so how often you want to do it? Well, I just want to shoot like 10, 12 episodes a year. What?
Yeah.
And so you think that's going to work? You want 10 to 12 episodes a year, but you want how much?
That part. How much money do you want for those 10 episodes?
I'm like, bro.
That's why I don't even know how to like give advice anymore, because and I do it week to week, different podcasts,
yeah,
and we have the talk. But sometimes those talks are a brother on episode 8 saying, well, where's the money at and how do I get paid? And I'm like, it may be a path for that, but that wasn't my way.
No.
I did this for years for free. A lot of that, I did this when a lot of the thoughts and ideas we had were way ahead of the technology, and we had to just wait for everybody to catch up. We had to wait for the ad agencies to catch up. We had to. So yeah, I don't know how to get paid by episode 8. I don't.
Right. There is no money in episode 8. And because now everybody's starting to see there's a pathway, everybody's getting in, and so it's becoming a very saturated market now. So you got to be really, really good. Now, look, if you're you're a big name, if Denzel and Sam Jackson started a podcast, people are going to tune in at first.
Yep.
Now, the first 3 or 4 episodes, but then how can you keep them? Because that's the hard part, Joe, is getting people to listen. Man, Joe Budden, I'm going to see what Joe talking about. Can you get them to come back?
Exactly.
Can you get them to come back again?
Listen, we've been seeing a million A-list celebrities start podcasts or make the big podcast announcement or go get a big bag and never deliver an episode.
Nope.
Not a one. I've seen them get fired. I've seen them. They're not. To be a podcaster, still to be a podcaster. Like you could count on the Joe Budden podcast to drop twice a week, 52 weeks out the year.
Right.
I'm gonna be there.
Right.
Some of them you're not committed to it. Y'all are playing the headline game. You're playing the stock game. You had no intention of doing it.
Yeah.
Especially when COVID came out, Joe.
Oh my Lord.
Because there was really nothing. The studios couldn't shoot, but we got to get something out. Hey, Joe, we got this big, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Joe had a podcast. I thought Joe was going to drop this such and such.
Mm-hmm.
They took the money and ran.
Always.
And then bro, it's a grind. And people don't realize how hard you got to work and what goes into it, Joe. People really just think you and your group, y'all just show up and just shoot. No, you got to run down. We got a direction in which we want to go. We got to get in and out. We got to direct traffic.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. But when people don't see how the food is made, they think it's easy to cook. But if you watch your grandmother or your aunt or your mom cook, you realize that plate ain't just getting on the table in 20 minutes.
She's been prepping this.
Yes.
She's been prepping this food.
Yeah, all night.
You're absolutely right.
And then you really took it to a next level. You're like, you know what? I'm going to have my own ad team. I'm not going to rely on some of the others that have advertisers that they come to you, and by the time it gets to you, you getting 60%, as opposed to like, you know what? I hire my own ad team and I'll get the whole 100%, and they give them a percentage of however you do it. Mm-hmm. What made you decide to go that route?
Honestly, the outlook as far as ads started with just like how I listened to podcasts and how I was as a rapper. I used to hate promo. I used to absolutely hate doing promotion. I'm not going to lie to you. Even when an album was coming out, I wouldn't promo it. And when I would listen to podcasts and an ad would pop up, I didn't necessarily enjoy that.
Right.
I didn't like that. I didn't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation, which I thought was extremely important at the time. So for this check, and I tried at first, and I'm talking, this is around 2015, 2016.
Damn.
2015, 2016. I tried to, again, Shannon, nobody knew where money was coming from in podcasting. So if this ad came for whatever the money was, it was shorts. But the thinking was, if you pack in a bunch of those, you can see how you make some money. I did the ads, I put them all up. Whatever the read was, I went totally off script, laughed at them, told them to call me instead. I don't think it was Talkspace or somebody. It was a mess. But from there, again, how I moved was because the audience was so large and it was growing year over year. So, I mean, it was cheaper to just hoe around and add yourself to death versus nurturing a relationship with a brand that you understood, that understood you. And again, maybe this is trauma from Black people and how I view the word shock jock, right? Because you'll participate in all the success, but anytime something happens off script, you're so quick to toss us to the side, put all types of words in these contracts. I never jived with that.
Right.
I never jived with that. So, no, I forgot where I was.
Yeah, no, but you were saying that why you decided to like do your own. You have
back to the ads. So yeah, and we were blessed enough to have some really good partnerships with some people for years and years and years, and it was profitable for both sides, and you meet good people, and you do this thing. You start to do it, and you start to reap the benefits of the independent company that's out here putting in the work versus the the ads team, the sales team. And then that's always the thing too. This whatever your beef is with whoever you partnered with, at some point they're gonna put it on the sales team if you start having the right conversation. It's like, all right, let me come talk to the sales team.
Right.
And let's have a conversation. Let me get on the phone with some of these people.
Right.
And yeah, but edgy content.
The big game is
No, that's dope. No, that's dope though. Shout out to Joe Budden. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, Uncle Shay Shay. They out there putting in work, bro.